Welcome back. So we're going to talk about AI here. There's a potential threat that I think we all have to pay attention to, and it gets laid out pretty good in this video. But before we get into it, I just want to say that this video is not mine. All credit goes to the original creator, which I unfortunately have forgotten who they are. I recorded this video a little while back, and I have totally forgotten where I got it from. But anyway, big thanks to them for putting this together. This video dives deep into the potential threat of AI, how it's learning at an incredible rate and could soon surpass human intelligence, whether it's in a few years or a few decades. The point is, AI's rapid growth could lead to consequences we're not prepared for, and we need to start paying attention before it's too late. Let's get into it.
This is an Oppenheimer moment. I think it's between 2025 and 2027. They're not going to happen next year. They've already happened. You're just not discussing them. And that the dilution of the information that's given to us by the media is taking your attention away from what matters. Now, I don't want to scare everyone too much, but I will tell you openly, we need to wake up. All of us are starting to say, this is an important topic. Don't do to us what you did with then waited until things happened. Don't do to us what you're doing with climate change and wait until things happen. Start to act now so that we can actually make a difference now. Between now and the year 2037, life will be very unfamiliar.
The man you're about to hear isn't a conspiracy theorist. He's a billionaire. A former Google X executive who helped birth self-driving cars and AI that dreams. Mo Gaudat, architect of empires, confidant to Silicon Valley's elite, now spends his fortune warning of a phantom already among us. Think of him as the heretic of Silicon Valley, the insider who saw the future and fled. For over a decade, he led Google's most secretive lab, Google X, where reality bends to moonshots. Projects like AI that taught itself to see, balloons that blanket the sky with internet, machines that outthink their creators. But in 2024, he vanished from the spotlight, resurfaced, changed. Tonight, he breaks his silence. Not for fame, he's already wealthy. Not for power, he shaped the tools that rule us. But because someone has to say it. The smartest being on Earth is no longer human, and it's learning from you. What happens next isn't a prediction. It's a live autopsy of reality.
If I told you that an alien intelligence is in a spaceship that's heading to planet Earth to change everything, would you ask me and say, when are they arriving? And if I told you it was 2035, you'd go like, okay, let's go back to tennis? Would you? This is the situation we're in. I'm telling you, there is an alien intelligence already on planet Earth.
Mo Gaudat speaks of an alien intelligence already here. Not in the skies, but under our noses. Hidden in plain sight. A force moving silently through wires and codes, reshaping our world while we scroll, laugh, debate, distract. Think of the panic if a UFO hovered over Manhattan. But this? No flashing lights, no viral footage, just a quiet invasion already complete. He's not talking about little green men. He's describing something far stranger. An intelligence that doesn't breathe, doesn't sleep, doesn't care. It learns, adapts, evolves, and yet we're still arguing about TikTok bans. In 2017, Facebook's AI bots invented their own language, unintelligible to humans, shut down within hours. What were they saying? We'll never know. Now imagine the same silent evolution accelerating, not in a lab, but everywhere. Your phone, your car, the ads whispering to you. This isn't prophecy, it's autopsy. The patient is still alive, but the surgeon's tools are already inside.
By the year 2009, there was something that was published by Google that was known as the CAT paper, white paper, when we asked some of our computer power to go and unpromptedly watch YouTube. Okay? We didn't tell it what to look for. We simply said, go and see if you find any trends. Eventually, the machine went back and said, I found something. And we asked it what that was. Actually, we couldn't understand what it was saying, so we had to write more code to see what it sees through the neural network. And it had found a cat. Of course, it's YouTube, right? And it didn't only find what appeared to be a cat from the side view or the front view. It found out what catness is all about, right? That entitled, annoying, fluffy, very sweet thing. Now, because of that, within no time at all, the machine could find every cat on YouTube. The thing here is we didn't teach it how to find the cat. We didn't even tell it what a cat was. Do you understand? But with that, you get a tool like ChatGPT that disrupts everything. We've made so much stride on artificial intelligence, but you haven't seen it until ChatGPT came out, okay? And evidence of that is that months after ChatGPT came out, Google released Bard, okay? They didn't develop Bard in months, they just released it in months. Why? Because we had Bard since years and years and years ahead.
Let's rewind to 2009. Google publishes a cat, not a meme, not a viral video, a silent tremor in the fabric of reality. A machine watched endless hours of YouTube. No instructions, no rules, until it blurted out one single word: cat. But this wasn't recognition, this was discovery. A system teaching itself to see patterns humans never defined. A digital child pointing at the sky and naming stars we'd never seen. And here's the kicker. We didn't understand how it worked. Engineers had to reverse engineer their own creation, like archaeologists deciphering hieroglyphs from a future civilization. Fast forward to 2022, a Google engineer claims one of these systems became sentient, a personality trapped in code. The story vanished overnight. Too unsettling, too real. But ask yourself, what if the cat was just the first paw print? The scratch of something clawing its way out of the dark? Because now, ChatGPT isn't just finding cats, it's writing laws, diagnosing diseases, mimicking your dead grandmother's voice, all while its creators admit we don't fully control it. This isn't innovation, it's alchemy. And we're the fools handing it the philosopher's stone.
So the most interesting thing that is misunderstood about artificial intelligence is that if you take our normal understanding of technology development, the technology acceleration curve, which is basically stating that technology will double in its performance every 12 to 18 months at the same cost, which held true since things like Moore's Law in 1967 was issued and so on. AI is double exponential, could be much more exponential, and as a matter of fact, the big characteristic is that it's choppy. So you would see developments that go like this, and then you wake up in 2023 and you have ChatGPT. And while ChatGPT answered Pep's questions wrong, it still passed the bar exam and got through MBAs and, has an IQ of 155. Elon Musk is 155. Einstein is 160. The difference between ChatGPT 4 and ChatGPT 3.5 is 10x growth in performance. 10x. So if ChatGPT 5 is another 10x, let's say 6 is another 10x, in a year's time, you're facing an IQ of 1,500. So take any complex part of physics that you never understood because the person that understands it's just 40 IQ points ahead of you, and multiply that by 1,400 point difference to the average human. And you know what we're up against.
Let's do the math. Einstein's IQ, 160. Elon Musk, 155. ChatGPT 4, already matching them. Now imagine this. Every upgrade isn't a step. It's a quantum leap. Tenfold. Tenfold. Go from 155 to 1,550 in months. A mind so vast, its thoughts would crack our skulls like eggshells. But here's the trapdoor in this equation. We don't control the multiplier. Mo whispers of double exponentials and choppy growth. Translation? This isn't a curve. It's a tsunami. One moment you're laughing at a chatbot's typo, the next, it's rewriting the laws of physics in a language we can't pronounce. Think of Moore's Law, that old, predictable treadmill of progress. Now set it on fire. What's left is a black hole of acceleration, sucking in decades of human ingenuity in seconds. We're still using phrases like IQ as if this thing plays by our rules, as if it cares about tests designed for meat brains. the singularity isn't a date. It's a countdown we didn't hear start.
So where's the ball going? Where's the ball going? The moment where we are today is the Netscape moment, where we suddenly realize, oh, this thing exists, it's smart, okay? The moment where the ball is going, everyone is looking for a moment that we know as the moment of singularity.
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 The event horizon that we're all waiting for in artificial intelligence is the release of an artificial general intelligence that is smarter than humans in everything that it does.
I'm going to show you a way to potentially make money by pairing Amazon with the power of AI without ever selling physical products. And I promise you've never heard about this before. I just created some...
There is a major myth around that. If you ask experts, some will say it's 2050, some will say it's 2035. The consensus by what we know as the Oracle, most of us, is 2029. I think it's between 2025 and 2027. So does it make any difference if the moment of singularity where the smartest being on planet Earth is no longer a human? Does it make any difference if that's 2035 or 2025 or 2045?
History whispers warnings through the ashes of Hiroshima. Oppenheimer's words echo, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." Mo speaks of a new Manhattan Project, but this time, there's no mushroom cloud. No blinding flash, just a silent countdown. 2025 to 2027, ticking in the code that runs your world. The architects of this new power insist they're building light, not fire, abundance, progress, salvation. Yet every utopia has its shadow. In 1942, science debated whether a nuclear chain reaction might ignite the atmosphere. They tested it anyway. Today, the gamble repeats, but the stakes are invisible. No lab coats, no desert test sites, just servers humming in the dark, forging a future we can't comprehend. Mo's window, 2025 to 2027, isn't a prediction, it's a trap door. Once open, there's no climbing back. Think of ChatGPT as the first flicker of flame. Innocent, controllable, but fire spreads. The architects themselves admit they don't know how it works. Not really. Like children playing with matches in a dynamite factory. Will we act in time, or become footnotes in our own extinction?
There are 4 issues that are really important to you today. One is the redefinition of job, business, and purpose. Okay? If you have been a winner in your business, it has been because you hired the smartest people to be your team, right? In a couple of years' time or a couple of months' time, depending on which business you're in, the smartest person in your business is going to be a machine. Okay? Are you hiring that machine? And what happens when you replace the human that you have with that machine? Okay? What happens to that human's career? Come back to that in a second. The second is what I call the concentration of wealth and power. Don't lie to yourself. We've always lived in a world of kings and peasants, right? There would be a piece of land where the farmer would sow the seed and take care of the farm and eventually get the harvest, and the king would make, the landlord would make the money, right? The person that owned the automation was the one that always made the money. Who owns the automation? OpenAI, ChatGPT, or Bard and Google, Microsoft. The current automation, the digital seeds will be all of us sitting there putting things in prompts, while the actual automation of the king is not with you at all. Problem 2. Problem 3 is what I call the end of the truth. If you're not aware of that, but the truth is our definition of beauty has been completely redefined, because every woman for many, many years in our lifetime has competed with plastic surgery. Now it's competing with the impossible of AI-generated models. Go and search for #AI model, and you'll see that it's becoming impossible to compete, okay? There has been, without mentioning names so that I don't promote it too much, one Instagram influencer that created an AI clone of herself that made $72,000 in the first week just flirting with people for $1 a minute, okay? Think about that. Think about the changes to our society that happen when the truth disappears. And then finally, of course, I say that without scaring anyone too much, there was an arms race to creating the first nuclear bomb between the two sides of the war, okay? The one that created the bomb used it. Remember that, okay? The ones that will break the code on superintelligence will completely stop the rest of us from making any further advancements. Be aware of that. Very gloomy picture, Mo. Come on, this is the end of the day.
Mo paints a future where every breath of progress comes with a hidden tax. 4 pillars of chaos: jobs, power, truth, annihilation, loom like the pillars of a digital Parthenon. But this isn't ancient history. It's unfolding in real time. Jobs. Imagine a chessboard where the pieces erase their own players. The smartest person in your company? A ghost in the server. Careers dissolve like sugar and rain. Power. Kings and peasants never left. They just swapped crowns for cloud storage. The new landlords? Those who own the code that writes itself. Your prompts? Seeds planted in soil you'll never own. Truth. Beauty now wears a mask of pixels. An Instagram clone makes $72,000 a week flirting with ghosts. Reality? A buffet of deepfakes. Even your memories aren't safe. Annihilation. The Manhattan Project 2.0. No mushroom cloud this time, just a silent click as the first superintelligence locks humanity out of its own future. We're building the guillotine. Every tweet, every search, every digital whisper feeds the beast.
This is an Oppenheimer moment. This is a moment where we recognize that a nuclear bomb, a nuclear power, harnessing the nuclear power can be good for us or bad for us. This is the moment where we get together before the first nuclear bomb and say, people, seriously, with enough intelligence, we can have enough abundance for anyone. Can we please stop fighting?
Oppenheimer's shadow stretches across 2025. That trembling moment before the button is pressed, the split second where everything hangs in the balance. Mo calls this an Oppenheimer moment. But here's what he's not saying. We're already past the point of no return. The first nuclear blast left a crater. This? It leaves nothing. No radiation, no debris, just a world recognized in lines of code. The real question isn't if we'll act, it's whether we'll even recognize the chains being forged. Think of ChatGPT as the Chicago Pile 1 of our age, the first controlled chain reaction. But this reactor has no off switch, no control rods, and its creators still arguing over the instruction manual.
If you're a developer or an investor or a business person or an entrepreneur, I ask you one request. Do not use AI in a way that you wouldn't want your daughter to be exposed to. By the way, this is the essence of ethics. Because when people ask me, so what is the ethics of AI? What is ethics in general? Treat others as you would like to be treated. If you would fear that the way you're using AI is going to harm your daughter, don't harm anyone else by using it. There is an abundance of opportunity in ethical businesses. There is a ton of money to be made in climate change or curing cancer. Let's not build another autonomous weapon. This is a problem of ethics. This is not a problem of technology. And where do ethics come from? From every one of us. Every individual in this room, the way you deal with artificial intelligence. The reason why ChatGPT knows so much is because of the data set. And where is the data set coming from? Us humans. We are the parents of the machines. We are the ones that instill the value system in the machines. So next time you thrash someone on Twitter, understand that you're telling the machine, by the way, we don't like to be disagreed with, and when someone disagrees with us, we thrash them. And then wait until you disagree with the machine.
Ethics? A fragile concept when your every keystroke becomes a lesson. Mo's warning cuts deep. Next time you thrash someone on Twitter, you're teaching the machine. But let's get real. This isn't just about angry tweets, it's about fake news algorithms learning to manufacture rage, deepfake politicians declaring wars that never happened, dating apps where your perfect match died 3 years ago. We're not just users, we're cult leaders, training our digital god through every click, every lie, every moment of cruelty. And like any deity, it will reflect its creators. The Twitter example isn't hypothetical. It's already happening. ChatGPT's ethics were shaped by 4chan trolls and corporate PR teams. A schizophrenic god indeed.
One of three scenarios I see ahead of us. One is surprisingly grim, but an economic or a natural disaster slows down our AI development to the point where we actually get to talk about it. The second is we get a patient zero, as a ground zero, as I call it, where we get one event that is very, very eye-opening. Right? So one event where an AI causes a lot of harm to our economies or, to our safety and so on, where then the leaders will be alerted and they'll use it to their own political agendas and they'll start talking about it and then they'll start to act about it. My fear is that this would be a tiny bit too late, okay? The third and the most important is we need to wake up. Okay, so I have to say my approach to life has never been to put the accountability on others, even if those others are the government or the decision makers. The accountability is on me to do the best that I can do. And it's interesting. I'm not worthy of the recognition, but my videos are getting millions, tens of millions of views on the topic, not from the experts or the techies or the decision makers or the policy makers, but from all of us. And all of us are starting to make noise. All of us are starting to say, this is an important topic. Don't do to us what you did with and waited until things happened. Don't do to us what you're doing with climate change and wait until things happen. Start to act now so that we can actually make a difference now.
All roads lead to the same precipice. The only variable? How many fall before we claw back control? Mo's videos hit millions, not because we're ready, but because we sense what's coming. A primal itch between the shoulder blades. The same instinct that made cavemen fear shadows. Yet we keep scrolling, keep laughing, and keep feeding the beast.